This episode is brought to you by Ariston Specialties in Bloomfield, Connecticut. They're makers of amazing olive oils and other Greek delights. Check them out online at aristonspecialties.com. That's Ariston, Ariston, specialties.com. This is Faith Middleton's all-new Food Schmooze Party podcast. We're in the mood for some stuffed burgers, and we're going to tell you how to make these in a couple different ways. They're easy and they are delicious. The all-stars are here. Chris Prosperi of Metro Beast in Simsbury, Connecticut. Mark Raymond in Old Wethersfield, Connecticut. Carl Franklin, co-host of the podcast Two Keto Dudes, and our associate producer, Joanne Church in New London, Connecticut. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Faith.
Hey there.
Hey, Faith.
Okay, so this is the thing I've figured out about stuffed burgers. They can be made or bought with where you stuff things inside the individual patty and cook them, and all kinds of delicious things. Or you can make them or buy them by doing a layering where your patty, or one or two of them, is, layered with a million things. It's not, the patty itself is not stuffed. And how you get your mouth around this thing, I have no idea. So, because I haven't tried that way yet. Okay, so who's got ideas of how you'd like to stuff your burger?
Chris is waving his hands madly.
It's funny because last weekend I did these, and I did the simplest version, and I even think Carl's going to love this one, right? I took my ground beef, and I was at my parents' house for a picnic, hamburgers, hot dogs, that thing, and they had some beautiful ground beef, and I asked my mom what it was, and she says, oh, it's 90-10. And I know the look on my face was like tragic, and I almost started crying. But then I remember all I need to do is take ice cold butter, make little itty bitty cubes of it, and then put that in my burger, like mix it in. So stuff it in the burger. So I was thinking about should I put onions and stuff? So I was like, you know what? I want to try a 90-10 ground beef and try fatting it up with some, and I'm telling you, everyone said the same thing. These were by far, they couldn't imagine what I did to them because I didn't fill them with anything. And I told them I only seasoned it with salt and pepper, but those little pockets of butter kind of melted in the middle, but stayed there. So when you took a bite of this hamburger, you got melted butter.
I think you win. We should just stop now.
So yes, stuff it with butter.
You're reminding me of what I was going to say, which I got from watching Top Chef Kids. I don't know if you ever watched this show. But
Yeah.
The kids' version of Top Chef, this was a few years ago, and there was a kid who had some health problems, but his name was Fuller. And he basically came up with this burger, and he put pats of butter on the inside. Not little flecks like you did, but it's the same thing, right? He basically made a burger sandwiched around a big, thick slab of butter.
Oh, jeez.
So he literally had a pocket of butter.
Yeah, right. And everybody loved it. I remember Curtis Stone said, this is the best burger I've ever eaten. What did you do? How did you do that? And he was like, oh, it's kind of a secret.
Yeah.
And they pried it
There's
out
my first stuffed burger. Next.
Yeah.
Okay, so does anybody remember, this is slightly off the subject, but I remember I was talking at some point about a steak place that I went into in New York City, famous, and the steaks were just mind blowing. And I had the steak, and I was just sitting there going, how did they do it? And so because they knew I did this food show, they said, would you like to come into the kitchen? And I said, yeah, sure. Now, normally I don't like to do that because I like the magic to just happen, and I don't want to know anything about what's going on back there. I go back in the kitchen, and there is a trough attached to the wooden tables, where they, do the plating to get it ready for the waitrons to pick up. And the whole thing is a trough of melted butter. And so the steak comes off the grill and goes into the trough of butter, and it sits there soaking in butter for some period of time, and then it gets plated. So essentially I was eating, I don't know how many, a pound of butter in my steak, which is
nothing wrong with that.
I love it.
It's an old French trick. You take the butter and you melt it with, you start off with water in a pan, right? About a ½ inch of water in your pan. And you bring that up to a simmer. And then you whisk butter into that. It's called beurre monté.
Beurre monté.
And then resting meat, right? So when you cook meat, all the juices get pushed out, right? That's why when you put it on a plate, and then as it cools, as it comes down to temperature, the juices get sucked back in. And you can actually watch that juice sort of disappear. Now, when you rest your steaks in butter, right? And again, lower temperature than when it was on the grill, some of that butter gets pulled back into the steak when it comes back to temperature, and that is heaven. Yeah, you can rest fish in there too, chicken, but keep them separate, of course. But yeah,
Chris, can I come to dinner at your house?
Wow, you know how they write recipes, and there's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 in the instructions. Number 4 should be go to the hospital and lie down.
Okay, now I really must object to that comment. Steak and butter is health food, kids.
Okay, keto dude.
True.
Just don't have a potato or a roll, and you're fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Yeah, good luck with that, right?
All right. Anybody? And have we got more ideas?
All right. So I've got an actual recipe that you're going to take. All right. You ready for this one? This one I absolutely love, and it's so simple. You probably have these ingredients at home. Well, maybe not one of them, but Lipton onion soup mix. Okay. We're going to make an onion soup stuffed burger. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 1 pound of a hamburger, whatever percentage you want. You're going to mix 1 packet of the Lipton onion soup mix into it with all that wonderful seasoning. Mm-hmm. And then what you're going to do is you're going to surround 2 sides of the burger with Swiss cheese in the middle. And then you're going to grill that up, or in a cast iron skillet, even better. And you're going to have this beautiful seasoned Lipton onion soup burger with the melted Swiss cheese just kind of oozing out as you cut through.
Wow.
And of course, cook to the temperature you prefer.
Yeah.
Wow. Have you ever done that? Or were you
done it a couple times, of course.
Oh my goodness. That is amazing.
Lipton onion soup mix is a great seasoning packet. It really is. My friend
really is pretty versatile.
The holidays makes her brisket with it.
Wow.
Coca-Cola. That's the secret to a good brisket. Right? It's Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper and Lipton onion soup mix.
Some of the ingredients in stuff like, ranch dressing powder and onion soup that makes it really tasty is one of the ingredients is citric acid. Like if you add citric acid to any rub or anything that you're going to put on a steak, that's what makes Doritos so yummy. That's what makes all that stuff really just tangy.
Gives it
right?
its tang.
It's like powdered lemon.
Yeah.
Wait, I just thought of a Doritos stuffed hamburger.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
You do the Bobby Flake crunch burger type things.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, because that crunches everything. Okay, go ahead.
True.
Joanne, do you have one?
The first time I ever stuffed a burger, turkey burgers on the grill, right? I mean, how dry could they be? Pretty dry. So I remember reading to put cheese in the middle to add fat to it. So I got Laughing Cow, garlic, and herb. I remember because I thought, if I'm putting cheese, I'm going to get it all. I'm getting all the flavors. And I made 2 patties with the mold, because they had to be perfect, and got the cheese in a ball between the 2 patties and grilled them. I have not forgotten that. And that was my first time ever stuffing a burger, turkey burger, and just thought it was so brilliant. And I never stopped doing it until, of course, we buy ground sirloin and wouldn't stuff that, but it made a moist, fatty turkey burger on the grill. Delicious.
No kidding. Was it good, Joanne?
Beyond good. I just remember thinking, wow, whoever thought of this is brilliant.
Yeah. Laughing Cow cheese melts really well.
And it was so great because turkey burgers, right? They're the worst to try to grill.
Yeah. So this is Faith Middleton's all new Food Schmooze Party podcast. All brand new episodes here, and you can get it wherever you get your podcasts, because we're on every single platform. By the way, I forgot to say, and he's quite insulted, our mascot, my rescue dog Bon Bon, is with us. He's rescued from the island of Bonaire in the Caribbean, and he's lying in his bed at my feet. He, especially talking about this, stuffed beef. He's, every once in a while he lifts his head up and stares. Hey, so I was reading, I like to do research about the different topics we're going to do. And I thought, well, let's see what other people are doing. So there is, a burger it's called the Hamburg Dog, and it is an Angus beef patty. And it's topped with a Hebrew national beef hot dog, layered cheddar cheese, bacon, jalapenos, fried onions, ketchup, and it's on a potato roll for those of us who eat bread. So, they showed me a picture of it, and it crazily looks delicious. And then there's a place in Guilford, Connecticut, called Mooyah Burgers, Mooyah, and they have a burger called the Burger Hall of Dang, and it's on Boston Post Road, by the way, and these are what they call super stuffed burgers. And there's a whole other place in Springfield, New Jersey. They're all over now, stuffing burgers.
It's a thing.
I didn't really realize that. Did you?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize that there was so much of them. I really didn't.
Yeah.
Does it have to be fat if the burger's stuffed? Like if you put 2 patties and stuff like cheese in it, does it have to be fat? Because I was thinking, we love kimchi on a burger. Could I put kimchi in the middle, or is that going to really affect how the burger can cook?
That's a tough one.
I think you should try it.
I'd say just try it, but I'd try it if it's good on top, it'll be good inside.
Is that right? Okay.
I think so.
It might have more definition on top. In other words, you might taste it more than if it's mixed in the burger. It's just my thought.
Yeah, because when you heat stuff up, the flavor's lower, right? Cold stuff is sharper.
If it's inside the burger, wouldn't the crunch start to disappear?
Yeah.
Get a little soft. It would be almost like a boiling effect.
I guess it would depend too on how you cook your burger. If you eat your burger more medium rare, it wouldn't be as bad or as much as if you cook your burger well done.
So I found a stuffed burger in New London, Connecticut, right, where Joanne and I are. And this is at a place called The Social. And The Social, they basically took over several years ago. They took over a WB Mason, big warehouse kind of thing. And they put in like 50 beers on tap. It's crazy. Ooh. It's also a great place to see a band. So anyway, if you go to socialnewlondon.com/dinner, they have a stuffed burger, and it is as follows. Hand-formed beef burger stuffed with mozzarella cheese, diced jalapenos, and bacon. That's the stuffing, with lettuce, tomato, red onion, pickle, topped with an egg. Oh. Any style. And it used to be called, get this, they used to call it the heart attack burger. I'm glad they changed the name, though.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I'll say. So that's The Social in New London. This makes me want to try it, but I don't need to have, I'd rather have my burgers, even though we're doing this theme, I'd rather have my burger with a few things in it and not stuffed with anything, because I really want that cheddar cheese. For me, I want that cheddar cheese to come through. Right. I really want to taste it. And I don't have bread with my burger. I just put it on a plate, and my dog Bon Bon and I split it. I take the cheese off, and he gets the half with no cheese, and I get the other half with my knife and fork.
It sounds like we're sort of walking into topics. Yeah.
Yes.
And since you mentioned cheese, I want to bring up my cheese sauce that anybody can make. Forget about keto. It's just absolutely delicious. So it's a little bit of molecular gastronomy. The key is trisodium citrate. And trisodium citrate emulsifies fat.
Yep.
And so you take about a quarter cup of water, bring it to a boil on high in a pan, throw in, and you put in about a quarter teaspoon of trisodium citrate, maybe a half a teaspoon. It really doesn't matter as long as there's some in there.
Where do you get that?
You can get it online. Just
Okay.
search for trisodium citrate, TRI sodium CITRATE. It's fairly cheap and you don't use a lot at a time. And then once it comes to a boil and it's all melty, you put in 8 ounces of shredded cheese. Yes, you can melt cheddar and it turns into the consistency of Cheez Whiz.
Oh.
No.
Imagine a cheddar cheese that's completely emulsified and it's not a processed food product.
Mm.
It's melty, gooey. Like you pick up a spoon and it just goes.
Ooh. I like it.
It's great.
Oh my goodness. Is it really taste good?
Oh, it's cheese. I mean, other than
It's
the water
just
and the
cheese.
trisocitrate, you don't taste that at all.
Okay,
It's-
but tell
it's
us
essentially
why.
cheese.
Now, why? Here's what I want to know from you. Why are you melting it into that consistency? Is there something
Oh.
that happens to it that makes
Yeah.
it? What's the delicious factor of this? Or why aren't you just like putting cheddar cheese?
Extra ooey gooiness.
Uh-huh.
I don't know
Gooey-gooiness.
anybody.
I go for that.
I don't know anybody who doesn't
Yeah,
like
but
ooey
Cheez
gooey.
Whiz has bad stuff in it.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
right.
homemade. It's homemade Cheez Whiz,
You got it.
It is.
Mhm.
It is.
right? And I mean, if you've ever had a Philly steak sandwich, right? Cheez Whiz is the key to that.
Right.
But it's not the best thing in the world to eat for you.
Yeah.
And making your own isn't a bad idea.
Now you can put your own cheeses into it. Of course, any cheese will emulsify and it will turn
Sure, you
ooey
could do
gooey. So
Gruyere, right? If you
Oh,
want
yeah.
Gruyere,
Yeah.
yeah.
Manchego.
Manchego,
It'll
yeah.
hold
Think
any
of those.
fat in place.
Right. Think of those cheeses that are really hard and they don't melt well. Like you can melt. You could do this with feta.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
How about a
that
creamy
would
feta?
be good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be good. That could even, and we could do, what's the one that goes on steak? I don't know why I keep coming back to steaks.
Gorgonzola.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Gorgonzola. Exactly.
Yep.
I don't even know what to ask you, Mark, about what wine would go with all of this. What
Oh my
would
God. So many different wines.
Would you drink a rosé with this? Because I drink rosé with just about anything but spaghetti.
Yeah, I think a rosé would be perfect. Perfect. Again, it's always like what you drink and drink what you like, but rosé would go. I think rosé would stand up with burgers, but I would lean to the side of red and maybe lighter reds like Tempranillo and Garnacha, or, maybe a Grenache Syrah blend, or maybe a Pinot Noir.
What's that red you sent me to try that would work with this? I just can't think of the name of it. It wasn't La Ragosa, because we did that the last time with another dish.
Maybe the Chateau Saint Roch.
Well,
From
how much?
France?
How much was it a bottle?
About $15.
Yeah, that's it. How do you? So Chateau Saint
Chateau Saint Roch, Old
Our-
Vine Red.
Rock as in ROC?
ROCH.
ROCH, Chateau Saint Roch. And who's the distributor on that?
That is at Brescombe Barton in Connecticut.
Okay, so if you go to call your wine store to see if they have it, they can't stock everything. Just tell them Brescombe Barton brings it in. Chateau Roch. Okay, great.
Chateau Saint Roch. Yeah.
It's Chateau Saint Roch, and it's $12 a bottle. And Carl, what's the name of that product you order online to make the gooey cheese?
Trisodium citrate. I'll provide a link to it on Amazon in the show notes.
Okay,
Nice.
right on our page, you mean?
Yep.
Okay, so
I'm
it'll
going to
be,
order some right after the show.
Yeah.
We have
it'll
to
be right
try
with
it.
the podcast. And Mark, why don't we write down the name of your wine there too?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, send me a
well,
link.
let's see. I think
Toppings?
we've done it. Well, toppings.
Condiments?
I was
Because I have a
thinking
mayo recipe.
now a mayo recipe. Okay,
Mayo.
go
I do.
ahead.
I like it. Let's go.
How long does this take?
30 seconds.
No, come on. Okay, lay it on us.
All right. So this is from my friend at Fox Hill Kitchens, the one who makes the crisps that you like there.
Yeah.
It's easy homemade 30-second mayo, and the link is mayo.2keto.com. And she makes it with avocado oil.
Ooh.
Yeah. And the key there is avocado oil is a healthy oil. Soybean oil that most mayonnaises are made from is not. So you take 3/4 of a cup of avocado oil, and you need a stick blender. That's the best way to do it. 1 large egg, a tablespoon of lemon juice. You can use apple cider vinegar, other vinegar, but I prefer the taste of lemon juice, especially if you're going to add garlic to it and make it an aioli. A 1/2 teaspoon of mustard. Dijon is good. 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt and the oil, and you just put it all in there. And I know I'm doing this gesture, but you put it all the way down in the canister, turn on the stick blender, let it go for about 5 or 10 seconds, and then slowly raise it up to the top. By the time it gets to the top, it's mayonnaise.
Wow. That sounds really great.
And easy.
Oh, yeah.
Love the stick blender.
I don't buy mayonnaise now.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you can make different flavors. So I add chipotle powder to make chipotle mayo. I throw in a little allulose to make it a little sweet, some garlic to make aioli, that kind of thing.
A little smoked paprika.
Smoked paprika.
Oh.
Awesome.
Yeah, roasted garlic, red pepper.
Oh my,
Yeah.
wouldn't that be delicious? That's so,
yeah.
I would even have that on, I mean, if I happened to eat pasta, I would even have it on pasta.
Yeah.
It sounds that good to me. Yeah.
We'd have to emulsify some cheese on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out the stick blenders.
Right.
That's it.
Hey, this is really fun. And you can find us wherever you get your podcasts, no matter where it is, because we call this the Faith Middleton all-new Food Schmooze Party podcast. And I'm with Mark Raymond, Joanne Church, Chris Prosperi, and Carl Franklin, the all-stars on the show. I'm Faith Middleton, and it's been great to be with you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.